We're going to now head back to Winnipeg, where standing by is the interim leader for the New Democratic Party of Canada, Don Davies, MP for Vancouver Kingsway. Don, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's great to be with you, Michael.
So here you are, nearing the end of your time as interim leader of the NDP. Are you feeling relieved?
A little bit. You know, it's I've known. Well, this has been a term position, yeah. So I've known that this day was going to come, and so you know, that changes things. And when you have an open-ended term, so a little bit of relief, a little bit of wistfulness, and really a lot of optimism about what's coming ahead.
Yeah, optimism. Why the optimism?
Look, you'd have to be at this convention, but I've been coming to conventions for 30 years, and this is one of the largest I've ever been at. The energy here, the momentum, the sense of enthusiasm is unlike any convention I've been at in many years. Our regional caucuses are packed. I've never seen more young people at an NDP convention. We're having 15 people run for 2 positions in the party. These things are unheard of, and the feeling of possibility for the future and growth is palpable in the air here, and you can just feel it.
Okay, well, that's interesting. It's an interesting juxtaposition because, as you know, Abacus Data, they came out with new polling numbers just yesterday as the convention was getting underway. And according to what David Coletto has been able to find, he says that nearly 50% of Canadians do not find your party as being relevant. Less than half see the party as fighting for the average Canadian, and 31% of Canadians see voting for the NDP as a wasted vote. What do you say to those numbers? And I understand you're referring to the enthusiasm around the room, but how do you explain that disconnect of what you're feeling in Winnipeg and what the latest survey has to say about Canadians and their feelings vis-a-vis your party?
Well, you know what? It's a cliche now in politics that a single poll at a single point in time is worth a bucket of worm spit.
Well, to be fair, they've been more than one
last
poll.
Week.
To be fair, more than one poll.
Well, why don't you ask me about the Ecos poll last week that had us at 15%, Michael? So that has us at almost triple the support that we had 10 months ago. And, when you say 50% of the population doesn't find us relevant, 50% does. And I tell you, if we get 50% of the vote next election, we'll be forming government. So no party is all things to all people. We are rebuilding. And, I think all I hear from people across the political spectrum is that people want a strong federal NDP in this country. They realize that we're an institution that fights for things that no other party does. And we're the party fighting for affordable housing and for good unionized jobs and for a clean environment, progressive foreign policy. And so I think people are appreciating us, and we're on a rebuilding phase, and we're coming back.
Okay, let me pick up on that point then, because obviously you've been leading the party in the House of Commons since this new government took over. When you look at the opportunity for the NDP, and in saying that, the weaknesses of this current government, what would you say to the next leader of your party?
Well, that's an excellent question. I think there's a lot of room for us. There are really 2 conservative parties in the House of Commons right now. There's Pierre Poilievre's harder right conservatives, and there's Mark Carney's sort of center-right conservative party. And that leaves an enormous amount of room for a party like ours to articulate the policies that so many Canadians want us to, which the majority of Canadians need us to. So I see a lot of growth potential for our party. I think the kind of policies that have been articulated at this convention and by the leadership candidates are resonating with Canadians. And finally, after a year in office, I don't think Canadians are seeing the progress that they thought they would get from Mr. Carney, nor are they getting the kind of government that was promised by him. And as that credibility gulf widens, there's a great opportunity for the NDP to step in with solid policies that help people and an integrity-based offer to Canadians.
Okay, so what then is job one, would you say, of the new leader?
Oh, that's another great question. I mean, it's like there's 1,000 job ones for a new leader. I think one of the first things is to meet with caucus and make sure that we start continuing to build that united caucus that is important to our work in the House of Commons. I think it's important that the new leader reach out to our provincial leaders. We have, as you know, we're either government or official opposition in 6 provinces out of 10 in this country. So I think that's a very important relationship that must be nurtured. And I think the new leader has to do what we've been doing since last May, which is reconnecting with working people in this country, meeting them where they're at, listening to their priorities, hearing their ideas, and crafting policies that resonate and reflect their lived experience, because I think that's the core of who the NDP is.
What about the challenge that you'll have, not only in Quebec, but amongst Francophone populations across this country? Because when you look at the 5 leaders, arguably Avi Lewis has the greatest fluency in French, but nobody has complete fluency in French. What does that say about the challenge for your party to build the vote in Quebec in particular and resist becoming a Western rump?
Yeah, it's look, no party can win government in this country or be an authentic national party if we don't have a strong base in Quebec. You're right to point out that mastering French is an important challenge for whoever is leading our party going forward. I'm seeing good progress by all the candidates, or certainly by the front-running candidates, and they're going to keep working on that. So I'm looking forward to our new leader being able to communicate fluently and respectfully in the French language. And you're right, that is a core requirement for the new leader, and something that's important to our political fortunes in Quebec and frankly outside of Quebec, where I think there's 1 million Francophones who live as well.
Quickly running out of time here, but I want to ask you, Don, because of the 5 people that are running for the leadership of your party, only one is a member of the House of Commons, that of course being Heather McPherson. We don't know what's going to happen come tomorrow when the new leader is announced, but when that new leader is announced, if they do not currently have a seat in the House of Commons, how important is it that they get one and get one quickly?
Well, the advice that I have already given is that I don't think that it's imperative that they get in the House extremely quickly. The new leader has spent 8 months talking to New Democrats. I think that pivoting and saying that we're going to meet Canadians and communities across this country and learn their priorities so that when the person is ready to go in the House of Commons, they can truly reflect their interests, I think is important. It didn't hurt Jack Layton. It didn't hurt Mark Carney to not have a seat in the House of Commons. So they'll have to get one in due time, but I don't think that it's necessary to be in a rush to do so.
Okay. Don Davies, listen, I appreciate the time spending with us today. Best of luck with the rest of the convention, and congratulations on your time as interim leader of the NDP.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Okay, see you back.